So I've been waiting on material to start on our next project, which is going to be in this high tunnel. And while we wait, we need to move sheep today. And also I just got the phone call where my feed dealer has our feed. So if you're new to chickens, you're like, hey, what should I raise? Cornish cross, Red Rangers. I mean, there's other ones out there. But one factor that you have to consider is feed. How much feed do these guys consume? Hey, chickens. Red Rangers, they're 12 weeks in the freezer. These Cornish crosses, 8 weeks. So Red Rangers do eat more feed. While we're at it, while we're picking up the feed, we're gonna talk about how many chickens can you raise on 2,000 pounds of feed. We also got grit. We're feeding them grit, which is broken down rocks. Helps with, because chickens don't have teeth, the grit is like their teeth. And I'm really just kind of putting it in their trough. I'll put it down there rather than a separate bowl, because you know they're just gonna poop in the bowl. You know, pretty much free choice. But we feed organic feed, and I do notice with the grit, after you move them, you'll see all this yellow, which is yellow corn. You know, after they poop it out, but you'll see the yellow if you don't feed them grit. But then if you feed them the grit and you're doing it on a regular basis, you don't really see the yellow. So if you see the yellow in their poop, I'm like, okay, I'm not giving them enough grit, or I'm getting lazy about that. We had chickens here about a month ago. You could see the green. There was not chickens on this spot, so you definitely see the dark green. This one not so much. We haven't had that much rain lately, but let's see. I would say the water's maybe about 800 gallons. That's maybe the lowest I've seen it all year. Hey pigs, hey pigs. Man, they're like gremlins, savages. So they are weaning themselves off of mama, and they're starting to eat the grain. So they are plumping up pretty good. I've seen her flip these pigs into the netting. I mean, you know, don't mess with mom's food. I still need to castrate one pig, which I've been putting off. Also, we have sold 2 of these piglets. You've had it with your kids. Get these kids out of here. Yeah. So, I think she's had it with them. And when we first started growing broiler chickens, we would buy per bag at the store. So over time, you know, we found a co-op, and then we were still buying per bag, but it was a co-op. So it kind of brought the cost down, because there was a group of us going in and buying huge amounts of feed and then getting what we need. And then from there, I learned about the totes of feed, and that is where we buy today. So we're at Red Bell Ridge Farm. It's so helpful to have a farm and friends near us that are feed dealers. So that way, yeah, it helps when you don't have a tractor to unload stuff. Otherwise, I'd probably just have it delivered to my place, but I don't have anything to unload it. That's the problem. but they do, which is cool, and it works out. This is 1,000 pounds of organic turkey feed. All right, so this is the first load. You know, I don't have a big enough trailer to put all the loads on here, so one at a time. Well, first problem of the day, my winch, chain hoist, it's not working, it's stuck. I think I know what happened. The chain that you pull it on came off the track. Yeah.
Why is it broken?
I don't know. Here it came off. I believe it came off the track because that nut on that screw came off and the whole cover kind of was loose, so I need a new nut. The problem with buying 1,000 pounds of turkey feed is that all the turkeys need to survive. Last year, half of them died, and I had 1,000 pounds of feed. They weren't going to go through that, but luckily I found somebody who had turkeys and raised more turkeys, so it worked out. But I guess my thought is, if say half of them die, more than half of them die, and I have all this turkey feed, well, I could feed it to my chickens. They would eat it, pigs would eat it, so it's not going totally to waste. We have 30 and 30 broiler chickens. We have one more batch of 60 after these guys go to freezer camp. The turkeys are looking pretty healthy. We did lose, it's all right. We did lose 3 of these guys so far. It's been 2 weeks old. I'm feeding them a little bit higher percentage of feed than usual, so hopefully that helps. But so far they look nice. All right, so let's pick up some more broiler feed. For the 2,000 pound tote, I don't lift that up. 2,000 pounds. I don't know. Pretty sure I could hold it. That hoist is rated for that, but as far as my barn, I'm not sure. But anyways, I need to unload it into These barrels, that's what we use. And it takes me about 3 minutes to fill up one barrel. It's not that bad, but yeah, it's labor intensive. Even though I do love raising a Red Ranger bird, the Cornish cross is cheaper to raise. And when it comes down to it, with the price of feed and everything, that's why we chose to do Cornish crosses this year. Last year we did the Red Rangers. So for every 2,000 pound tote, we could raise 120 Cornish crosses. For that same 2,000 pound tote, we can only raise 75 Red Rangers, because the Red Rangers, it does take longer to raise than the Cornish crosses, so that means you are feeding it more. So we're moving sheep today, but the grass is so long that you need to trim it down so that way the netting will be hotter when you energize it. So now we have a clean lane, because this setup I did, this was their second move right here. You know, not too clean. I could have done a better job of cleaning the edges there, so that way it could, you know, really energize it really good. But you can see they really trample down and are eating what they want. I never hear them mooing. Mooing? What is that called for sheep? Bang, bang. They like the sweet gum tree. That one right there. That's good, because I have a ton of sweet gum here. These are 2 sweet gums, and a lot of them just popping up wherever. All right, so far, the 2 sheep that we have now have been pretty chill. Pretty easy. They are really quiet and do not make any noise. In this spot, they do have some trees for shade, but they seem like they like this shade structure better than the trees. This is a pretty bare spot that they chewed all the way down. So it looks like they're just kind of picking and choosing what they want. This was some hay there. I've seen them eat kind of these tall grasses here, but you know, they're picking all the young grasses that are coming up. And I think that's what you don't want. If you leave them in one spot, they're going to keep eating the young little grasses, and then it's going to be harder for it to recover. All right, so I made a little doorway. Keeping their water clean, filling it up. Oh, I don't know, maybe every other day, sometimes every 2 days. They don't drink much water, and it's just in that pail. You know, compared to pigs. Sheep do not care about your feelings. Hey, sheep. Come on. Come on, sheep. There we go. Keep going. They found it. They found it. I'm keeping my distance. Yeah, they're still skittish of me.